Winter storm watches getting very close to us here in the tri-state, but also stretching over 1,200 miles southwest towards New Mexico, near El Paso. Yeah, it's a sign of the times, guys. We cannot rule out seeing something very similar to us here in the tri-states come closer. We can't rule it out. Good afternoon, Meteorologist Erin Ashley. Let's zoom on in and show you guys just how close it is. These watches quite literally butt up to the tri-state. So all eyes are going to be on the weekend forecast, not just because of the winter storm, but also the very bitter cold that's going to be settling on in too. That's going to happen on Friday afternoon for us, but then the snow will follow suit Saturday afternoon. We have more confidence in accumulating snow later on in the afternoon and into your evening on Saturday. It's how much snow are we going to see that is still very much in the air, and that's because we're on the northern side of this system. However, with the track of the storms continuing to trend north, that means some big changes are still possible here in the tri-state and in the snowfall forecast. And so we're going to start putting out accumulation totals tomorrow afternoon, we think, just to give the models some time to become a little bit more aligned on how much snow to expect. But should we continue to see the track go farther north, the chance for some heavy snow continues to go up. But small changes in the track can mean big changes in the snowfall forecast. That's what we've been saying all morning today, and we'll continue to stress as we work into your afternoon, into your evening, and most certainly as we get closer to the weekend. But should confidence increase in heavy snowfall totals, we can't rule out something very similar here in the tri-state, that being winter storm watches. We'll let you know should that happen. You guys will be the first to know. Let me show you what else is on our radar as we get closer to the weekend, which of course, all eyes are on the weekend, but we still have several days to get there. And today is not looking too bad. Slightly warmer. Highs are going to be in the low 40s this afternoon with a nice stiff wind from the southwest. So sure, it's pulling on in some warmer air temperatures, but it's also providing a little extra bite to the chill, the wind chill, if you will. And then even colder temperatures do return. We're talking by Friday afternoon. Thursday, not looking too bad. Highs in the middle 30s, but very quickly these temperatures will fall into your Friday afternoon, and then it leads into this mess, that weekend winter storm that could have a very high impact, which is why we've got a slew of first alert weather days in our forecast here. It starts Friday afternoon, lingers through your Sunday, all day on Sunday, and it starts with the cold Friday, and then the cold on Saturday morning. If you want to be outside, if you need to be outside, if you have plans, want to make plans, the earlier you can get out the door on Saturday, the better, because of course that winter storm looks like it's eyeing your Saturday afternoon into your evening, and then all day on Sunday. So your 3-day forecast here, not looking too bad. Friday afternoons when that first alert weather day is going to start for the bitter cold temperatures, but again, the snow is going to be following for Saturday evening, which means Friday, mostly dry. It's just going to be very cold. I mean, waking up in the morning on Friday to single-digit wind chills north of Cincinnati, and then by the afternoon, these temperatures falling. We fall from the middle 20s Friday morning, air temperatures, to the teens by the afternoon. So the wind chill is going to be following suit too. We're going to be seeing sub-zero wind chills as soon as Friday afternoon. We're going to hang on to it all the way through your Saturday afternoon, but I mean the morning especially going to be very, very cold. Wind chills at least 10 degrees below zero in spots. And then as we work into your Saturday afternoon, sure, we're holding on to the cold, but that's when the snow starts to come in as well. And then we start talking a bit about the heavy impact to the roads and stuff like that, or the potential for it for Sunday morning. So your weekend forecast, both days, first alert weather days. Both days have the chance for snow. It's just looking like it's going to be sandwiched towards the second half of the day on Saturday, really pick up as we get later into your overnight hours. If you have Saturday evening plans, be mindful of this. Watch this forecast very carefully. But again, the storm track is everything. Could make or break a heavy snow impact. And then Sunday, snowy, breezy, cold. We've got good confidence that we're going to be seeing snow here in the tri-state. It's just a matter of how much. It depends entirely on that storm track, which small changes in the track mean big changes in the snowfall forecast. We really can't say it enough. But even with the chance of a heavy snow impact here, first alert weather days in that forecast. We already showed you the wind chills. I want to show you what things look like here on your weather timeline, which again, the storm track has trended north. brings with it the heavy snow impact here in Cincinnati, which we do notice the snow getting close to us by the early afternoon on Saturday, which means the morning dry. We won't see the snow creeping on in until later in the afternoon Saturday. It'll really pick up, though, the later we get into the day. We're going to remain on the cold side of the system unless we continue to see this push farther north, which has been the trend over the last couple of model runs. But still looking at all snow here in the tri-state, just heavy snow possible in northern Kentucky. And notice the ice concern is still eyeing Tennessee mainly. That's where they have the heaviest winter storm impact, I think, is going to be farther south of us. It's just we'll see snow, maybe a lot of it, and that'll be mainly happening overnight into your Sunday. So Sunday morning going to be really messy if everything holds. And then we'll start to see the snow coming to an end later in the day on Sunday. This is a very moisture-driven system. So everywhere, millions of Americans, that's why we have a winter storm watches in effect outside of the tri-state, stretching all the way to New Mexico. And that's because we have a lot of moisture being fed into it from the Gulf, combining forces with the very cold air from the north. And it is setting up the stage for what could be a very heavy snow event heading into your weekend. However, with us being on the northern side of this system, all it takes is a little bit of that track to change. If it pulls south, it'll bring the heavy snow with it. So we're going to get some more model data over the next couple of days. We're going to be watching out for trends, watching some patterns, and then let you guys know what to expect as we work into your late week and into your weekend. But without giving you guys snowfall totals, because we're not going to do that today, as we've already seen a lot of changes in how much snow to expect. We're eyeing the trend here in that those south of Cincinnati can expect the heaviest snow. It's possible that we see this lift north. It's possible we see this lift south. But right now, highest snow total potential going to be seen south of Cincinnati. And the coldest air looks like it's going to be just north of Cincinnati, but really everyone's going to be seeing the cold as well. Let's get into your 7 to 10 day forecast. I anticipate there's probably a lot of questions about this weekend, and I wish I could give you all of the answers. But again, as a responsible meteorologist who's waiting on some higher resolution model data to give you guys better timing, better totals, things like that, that'll come in the next couple of days. We're still a good amount of time away from this snowstorm, if you will, which means there's still a lot of room for this forecast to change. However, we do want to get you ready just in case we see a lot of snow moving on through the tri-state. But today, low 40s, your forecast high here in Cincy, 42, and we're seeing temperatures dropping into the 20s overnight into your Thursday, only rising to the middle 30s on Thursday, mostly sunny. We have a cold front passing on through, so it might be a bit breezy too, but say the main thing as we head into your late week. While we are seeing some sun, while we are calming down, we are cooling down, becoming very bitterly cold by Friday afternoon. A high of 18 will feel at times below zero. And then the coldest morning, Saturday morning. We're talking wind chills at least 10 degrees below zero at times, with an air temperature around 3 degrees. 15 your forecast high on Saturday, so even before the snow gets here, we're still seeing heavy winter impact just in the temperature department. And then rolling into Saturday evening, all overnight into Sunday, could be looking at some heavy snow pulling on through the tri-state, especially south of Cincinnati, and breezy as well in the afternoon. High of 20 on Sunday. If you had to pick a day this weekend, I would pick Saturday. Even though it's colder, we just have a little bit more dry time in that forecast here. And then snow will exit early on Monday. Could be looking at some slick spots still on the roads for that Monday morning commute. It's not out of the question. It depends on the crews. It depends on how cold these temperatures are going to be. And of course, it always depends on how much snow we do see, which waiting on that information. Now Tuesday, clearing and cold, low 20s once again. All the way through this 10-day, we're going to be bitterly cold with highs only peaking in the middle 20s. Okay, we do have some questions coming on in. Donna's tuning in. How many inches? We could be looking at a decent amount, especially south of the Ohio River, but how many will come in the next couple of days, Donna? Lou, so when will we see warmer weather? Sick of this cold. Today. Today is the warmest day out of the next 7 to 10. It really looks like we're wrapping up January, putting a bow on it with a lot of cold temperatures all in a row. So yeah, the foreseeable future, Lou, is going to be very, very cold. I know a lot of people are probably sick of it too. JD's tuning in. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Thank you for tuning in as always. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about how this storm system could change. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the weather timeline one more time to let you guys know about that, because we've seen over the last couple of days the snowfall totals have gone up, they've gone down, but this morning they went right back up again. So, and that comes with a storm track that is a little bit closer to the north. It'll be bumped a little bit farther north. And that's because we're seeing not only the low coming in from the south, but also kind of combining forces with this low from the north and bringing with it a nice, fun combination of moisture and cold. And cold air can't hold moisture very well. And that's why we could be looking at a lot of snow here in Cincinnati. Again, the timing of this is favoring Saturday afternoon into your evening, but especially the later we get into your Saturday, the heavier the snow will become from what we're seeing right now on Wednesday afternoon. The ice concern is going to be south of the tri-state, but it is getting kind of close. Again, a little change in the track could mean some big changes in what to expect here, and that's why we haven't put out totals. How many inches? We're not going to put that out until we get closer and get a little bit even more data, I should say, about how this weekend's going to be behaving. But here, we're still mainly in the cold spot, but heavy snow cannot be ruled out, especially in northern Kentucky. We will notice the snow showers starting to lighten up around lunchtime on Sunday, likely coming to a complete stop though. It'll be kind of off and on all the way through Monday morning, so it's more than likely that we're not done with the snow in the tri-state until Monday afternoon. But the heaviest snow, of course, is going to be overnight into Sunday and Sunday morning, and that's where we have the heaviest impact to your plans. We have first alert weather days starting Friday, lasting all the way through Sunday. We might need to be issuing more for the cold on Monday, maybe even Tuesday. But again, how this storm behaves will dictate how next week will behave as well. We'll let you guys know of any changes coming on in. Scotty's saying, so is there going to be any ice? As far as ice goes, I'm not too concerned about it right now. There is always a chance that we see the storm track continue to push farther north, in which ice would become a concern. But right now, and over the last few days, it has just been snow. More than likely going to be mainly snow, if not all snow. And Tyler's asking when winter is over. March 21st. But who's counting? It's 2 months from today. It's actually pretty ironic. All right, so the time now is 12:13 here on your Wednesday afternoon. We're talking so much about the weekend. Can't forget that today is one of the nicer days. So make sure you're getting outside, maybe taking the dog for a walk with highs right around 40 degrees. Just a reminder that it is quite breezy outside. We're going to have the latest information for you guys about that weekend storm coming up this afternoon on Fox 19 now at 3 o'clock. But for now, signing off here in Queens Gate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.